Hello, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is me, Bio, bringing back with you another video, another Phoenix Games video game, Phoenix Games Mere Mortals racing game. So now we're on game number 3, and as you may have heard with my previous video, I spent roughly around half an hour with Doomsday Racers, and I spent upwards of about, an hour and a half or so with D-Unit Drift Racing, but I would have had to have spent longer if I hadn't done my little cheatsy method. But the next game we're going to be talking about, I spent just over an hour with, and that's RC Toy Machines. So I picked this game because it's RC. I expected it to control different than other racing games, which it does, but it has its own handful of issues. I don't imagine I'll be speaking too much about this game. I don't know, I just have a feeling I won't be, because there isn't really much to say, really, about the game that doesn't reflect within the last 2 games that I played with from Mere Mortals. So let's go over the usual information. I've already told you Mere Mortals is the developer. I've already told you Phoenix Games is the publisher. And this game came out on January 14th, 2005 for PlayStation 2 and PC. I played the PlayStation 2 version, and I played it to completion. Yes, I did. I played it to completion, just like I did with D-Unit, Drift Racing, even though I obviously did a little bit cheatsy-doodle with that one. So, but I played for this one fair and square. And yeah, it's boring. It's just boring. That is literally the biggest thing, or the biggest statement, I would say, that I have towards this game. It is a boring video game. And I'll give you the reason why. So, you boot the game up, you go to the main menu, you've got the usual rubbish of the main menu. It's the same kind of main menu. Actually, I think it's the same kind of main menu as Doomsday Racers, where it's like race setup and options, and that's all you have. And then you got 3 modes, which I'll give it credit. I can't remember if Doomsday Racers had 3 modes, but it's got 3 modes. It's got tournament mode, it's got single race mode, and it's got this time battle mode. Well, time battle is a time trial mode. I did play a little bit of it just to see what it was like. A video will be coming out on Biotechs. As with all of these, videos will be coming out on Biotechs showing basically gameplay of me playing through the games and all the different modes. And it's just, you do 8 laps of a track that you pick, and you just race yourself. So once you've done your first lap, a little ghost will be created, and you just race the little ghost. So yeah. And that's the time battle mode. Single race mode is exactly what you think it is. It's just, it's nice that you can pick how many laps and how many opponents you want to have in the race, which I believe you could do in Doomsday Racers, if I remember correctly. Then we have tournament mode, whereas with Doomsday Racers, and the reason why I'm going to compare these 2 games specifically is because I said it in the previous video with D-Unit Drift Racing. It felt like they tried a little bit harder with that game in comparison to Doomsday Racers and RC Toy Machines. So I don't really think it's fair to lump that particular game in with this game and with Doomsday Racers. That's just how I feel. So I'm going to be comparing it a lot to Doomsday Racers. Well, Doomsday Racers had 3 cups. It had the Neutron Cup, the Gamma Cup, and the Galactic Cup. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. Whereas this game is simply just the tournament mode. That's all you have. You go into the tournament mode, you pick a car, and you go into it. And that's it. You go through, I think it was like 8 races, in total. Not stopping throughout the entire time. Took me about 50 minutes to play through the tournament mode. I say I played it over an hour because obviously single race, time battle, include those, me getting gameplay for that and sorting out the music as well. Then that's what you get. So I'll make sure to talk about the music this time. I'll make sure I won't just have it as a little bit of an extra at the end of the video. So yeah, the tournament mode is literally just 8 races back to back. And I won every single one of them because it's not a difficult game. But I also realized that luck was on my side as well with the race, with the races. Well, I'll get into that. And once you complete tournament mode and you get first, you unlock the one singular only vehicle and one track. I think it unlocks all the tracks as playable once you beat tournament mode in single race. And you unlock the one unlockable vehicle, which is an F1 car. Cool, I guess. I'll put my save file on GameFAQs. You know, they've accepted all my other save files so far. The most recent one I've uploaded is Cyclone Circus. You know, I'm getting ahead with these videos at the end of the day, as I try to always do. So yeah, I think that'd be fine. So I will put the save file on there for RC Toy Machine. So if you want to play with all the tracks unlocked and the F1 car unlocked. So let's go into the actual game itself. So I guess we should talk about the way the game controls. Now, I didn't think the game controlled that bad, to be honest with you, because I picked this little kind of I don't even know what the kind of car it is. I know it's based off a real car, but it had a Union Jack on the bonnet, and that's the reason I picked it. Turns out I picked the best car in the fucking game, with the exception of the F1 car, because it just controls just the way you want it to control. It's quite tight on the turns, but besides that, the controls are on point. They're not stiff, they're not floaty, they are fine. Absolutely fine. The only complaint, like I said, is the turning is a bit tight, but that's only with the vehicle I selected. Every single vehicle controls different, and I'll give them credit for that. I'm glad that each vehicle controls different, because with D-Unit Drift Racing, every vehicle felt like it controlled exactly the same, just cosmetically looked different. And with Doomsday Racers, I think I only really had to go... No, I picked different cars, but they all kind of controlled the same. Yeah, no, Doomsday Racers, they all controlled basically the same, so it was another just palette swap. So it's good to have that these cars do actually have weight to them in this game. Each one's different. And weight is a big factor, because this... Guess what? You can pick this coupe car. You can pick this Banshee looking car, I don't know, from GTA. It's got no roof, for example. You got a Jeep. You've got I don't know, some kind of buggy looking car. And they all control differently, but not well, because those cars are bigger than the car I picked to play through tournament mode. They are, generally speaking, slower, but also they turn very slowly. And that comes into the point that you don't want them to turn slowly, because the track design with some of the tracks is fucking horrendous. So basically, those cars are just horrible to drive in the game. And I played with some of the vehicles, not all of them, some of the vehicles, just to record music, basically, because obviously I have to record music. I can't just extract the music from the game, from the ISO. I can't just do that. I have to go into the game and record the music that way. So I decided to do single race and then just play with a bunch of different vehicles. And that's when I realized, holy moly, spokey bowly. All the vehicles control completely differently. And the bigger the vehicle, the more weight the vehicle has, and thus it's more likely to spaz out. Because there's one thing that really holds this game back, besides just being a budget shovelware, fucking shit out within a month by the intern kind of game. That's what it feels like anyway. The games, they spent 1 month development time and it got by one dude in the development office, and they just shit it out. Again, most of these games came out, if I look at Mere Mortals and their release schedule in 2005 and 6, they released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games in 2005, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 games, including PC ports. Keep in mind, only 4 of those are PC ports. So 21 games, 21 new games in 2006. And then you have 2007 where they just released Pentacube Pro. So that alone shows 21 new releases in 2006. Yeah, one dude shit this game out in a month, or even less than that, in my opinion. I would love for them to have the engine to be able to create my own racing game with how they did it with this. I would love the engine just to have a little piss about with it. But like I said, you can definitely tell that this game is just budget through and through, because the physics are kind of fucked. So let's say, for example, if you happen to go off a jump and you land incorrectly, or if you go off the jump in a weird way, it's more likely your car will go like not spazzy, but will spin around and go in a weird direction that you don't expect it to, or in terms of physics wouldn't make sense. That happens. Luckily, that didn't really happen too much with me driving in the Union Jack vehicle, but it did happen a lot with me just doing single race with some of the other vehicles. So, not particularly great. So the physics system in the game, not particularly great. But unfortunately, then we get into the track design itself. The track design is just horrible. It's just horrible. The first two tracks of the game, Garden 1 and Garden 2, are fine. They're big tracks. There's a few little weird things in the tracks, like for example, there's a boost thing in the game. You have, like, at the halfway point in the track, a little boost, like, replenishment, station that you drive through, and it replenishes your boost. The boost is really useful. I basically use the boost to just zoom ahead of everyone else. Pretty sure the CPUs can't use boost for whatever reason. Maybe they just forgot to program that in. Who knows? But there was on 2 occasions on one of the tracks, I literally drove up to the boost station normally, which is literally just like you drive through the boost station, which is just a little ramp with a frame around it saying with identifying it as a boost station. I use the term boost station. It could be called anything. And the car hit some invisible object and just turned onto its side suddenly, and I have to press select to reset my vehicle, which is in the game, same as Doomsday Racers had that. So I was like, why? But then I noticed that it also happened at some other random points where I just get caught on nothing. So I can only assume that when they made the little lips and little bumps within the track, they didn't do some of it correctly, which I'm not surprised, to be completely honest. But I will give credit where credit is due. There is a variety of tracks. There's only 8, but at least the tracks have a somewhat variety. Yeah, okay, there's Garden 1 and Garden 2 are in the same area, but the obstacles and how to drive the track is different. And then you have, I think you have the bedroom 1 and 2, you have the games room 1 and 2, and then you have the garage 1 and 2. So it's all house themed because you're driving your RC car around the house, basically. I will admit though, the games room just looks like a bar. I don't know, I thought it was a bar, and then I found out when I went into single race and select that track for one of the single races or time trial or whatever I chose it for. I saw it said games room, and I'm like, but it looks like a bar. Who has literally a bar counter with bar stools with a pool table, and you say that's a games room? You know, that's fucking Homer Simpson level fucking games room, that is, when he turned his basement or his garage into a fucking pub. So, I digress. So the track design's not very good. I guess what's the worst track design? Probably Garage 2, I would say. Luckily, the longest tracks in the game are Garden 1 and 2. I think Garden 2 is 9 minutes to complete a race, whereas Garden 1's 7 minutes. But then after that, all of the races are easily less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes to complete them. Some of the races. Actually, no, is it less than 3 minutes? Or is it a lap? No, a lap is less than 3 minutes. That's what it is. No. But it takes about 3 minutes, most 4 minutes to do one of the later races. It's just Garden 1 and 2 that are long tracks. But Garage 2 has some points where you have to turn really abruptly and go over these really small platforms, and you think to yourself, if I was driving any other car but the Union Jack car, I wouldn't win the race. No chance. I'd keep falling off the track. So I'm just it's not built for purpose then. If I'm struggling with what I consider to be the best car in the game, with the exception of the F1 car. The F1 car turns really, really well and is faster than the other vehicles. It's just objectively faster than the other vehicles. Then, you're fine, but any of the other vehicles, you're going to struggle like buggery. But I have noticed that some of the other vehicles are slightly faster, and also get more air as well. Like the buggy gets more air than other cars for some reason. I don't know. Weird physics, let me just say that. So let's talk about the music. The music is by no way, shape or form as good as D-Unit Drift Racing's music. The music in that game is just funny. It's just really, really funny. And it's psychedelic. Just, again, there's a reason I call D-Unit Drift Racing basically back rooms with driving. It's like a level you would expect in the back rooms, like floor number, I don't know, 69. I don't know. Obviously, that's probably already taken, but floor number, I don't know, 468. Let's just go with that. 468, and it's just that world. And and all you see, you walk around the world and you're like, what the hell is this? And you just see these random cars drifting around. Some of them on their roof, drifting around. You're like, where am I? I want to get out of here. So, unfortunately, RC Toy Machines doesn't have that charm about it. So, it's a very boring, kind of bland world. And the music reflects that, because it is literally just short loops. The longest track is the menu theme, or the title theme as it's called in if you look in the ISO file, it names all the tracks in there. It's called title. It's like 2 minutes long. The rest of the tracks are less than a minute. One of them's even like less than the rest of the tracks are just over a minute. I mean, one of the tracks is even less than a minute, and it's just that looped again and again. And I'm not looping the track multiple times for the video upload on Biotex. I just can't be bothered for that. So yeah. So yeah, the music is just kind of there, just kind of like it is with Doomsday. Well, at least with Doomsday with Doomsday Racers, you only had the one track. So at least with this game, you have multiple tracks, but they're all very short, and they get very boring and tiring quickly. So, and then finally, there's one other point I will mention before I close this video, and that point is that there's these little markers on each of the tracks kind of directing you where you need to go. There's a big red arrow you probably have noticed by now, I haven't mentioned yet, at the top of the screen. And basically, the developers realized that the tracks that they created were such dog shit that they needed to put a red arrow above at the top of the screen to kind of show you where you need to go. Because there's these little like red and white colored markers, and they're so small and tiny you can barely even see them, that you could easily miss. And they're supposed to tell you where you're supposed to go on the track. But at times, you'll be following them, and then the game goes, nah mate, you're going the wrong way. But I'm not going the wrong way. Very clearly I'm following the big green flashing arrows. What do you mean? And it will just reset you. And it's all because they have poorly mapped out the track. So where the arrow's supposed to lead you and where you're actually supposed to... There is boundaries you're supposed to stay within on the track. They aren't mapped out very well. So you'll be in an area of the track. It's a perfect example. There's a track that has this like wheelie bin. It's the Garage 1, I believe. No, is it Garage 1 or Garage 2? No, it is Garage 2. So Garage 2 also, again, Garage 2. Yeah, right. Fucking worst track in the game. Has these wheelie bins, and you can either go right or left past the wheelie bin to reach this pipe that goes up into, like, I don't know, it goes up into the garage, whatever. You're supposed to go to the right of the wheelie bin, not the left. Now, you can go the left, but you've got to keep close to the wheelie bin. If you go too far away from the wheelie bin, it'll go, boop, you're going the wrong way, and reset you on the track. But I'm still on the track. I'm still on the fucking track. So, they didn't map out the fucking, like, dimensions of where you're supposed to go in the track very well. Where realistically it would have been easier just have the red arrow, don't have any boundaries on the track, have little checkpoints you're supposed to go past, and have the checkpoints easily hittable, and that would be the easier thing to do. And also don't respawn me if I go outside the track, because I would love to explore and see what other because there's little areas where you could look like you very clearly can keep driving on, but the game will reset you back onto the track. I would love to see what kind of nonsense is behind there. You never know, it'll just be me falling off the level more than likely, but let me have that, developers. Let me have some fun. There's also some instances where there is a track, and I think it's either bedroom 1 or 2. It is one of the bedroom tracks, where you're going down a ramp. And no, is it the garden? No, it's garden. It's one of the garden tracks. You're going down a ramp, and there's a bicycle to the right, and you could quite easily, and basically you're supposed to go down the ramp, around, and then back the way you came, parallel to the ramp, right? You could easily go down the ramp, turn right, and kind of do a little bit of a shortcut and fall onto the side of the track you're supposed to go onto. But guess what? The game doesn't let you do that, because you have to reach the bottom of the ramp to then turn around to follow the track. It thinks that you've gone out of bounds if you do that. So you can't even do any shortcuts in the game, because the game doesn't let you. The developers don't even let you try and do shortcuts to have fun in the game. So, all in all, RC Toy Machines is a boring racing game that's just kind of there, that very clearly one dude developed in, I don't know, a month. You know, the rest of the team were also tasked with developing a game each within a month, and this is what he shit out. So I can't honestly recommend playing this game. Don't play this game. It's just not good, to be completely honest with you. It's not a good video game. Not even out of curiosity to play it. It's just boring. It's just kind of there, and you can't even laugh at how bad it is of a video game, realistically speaking, like you can with Doomsday Racers, because it's not even that laughable. It's just boring. There's not enough, like, I guess, laughable events within the game that could make you chuckle. So I'm going to call it there. I've been Bio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.